We're at the end of 2023, and I found a game that I am obsessed with. It just came out, so I get to close the year off the right way. Not only do I love this game, it is the second game I've platinumed ever, which is just crazy because I'm not a completionist. But today is a super special show. Okay, so we're going to close off 2023 right. We have the director and artist behind the game I'm talking about. This game is called Cookie Cutter. We're going to get started. We'll show you a quick trailer, and let's get to meet the mind behind this awesome game. Stay tuned for the next episode. Press for time. Hey, there he is.
Hello,
Man.
Benny. How are you, my man?
Blushing, so excited. This is an extreme honor to have you on the show. So
It's an honor to be on your show, my man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, we're going to show a quick trailer so you guys can understand what we're talking about and understand why I'm in love with this game. So hang out and let's take a look.
Dr. Garbanzos declared that the worthy would no longer fear death. We just never got the chance. Infonet came for us. Are we really good at crashing?
Before we get started, I wanted to know, you can give everybody a brief introduction of who you are, because at the end of the day, you're out there, but people may not know you, and that's what we're here for. We want to get to know you, but you are the man behind a very special game, right?
Really cool. Okay, let's do it. So, hello, everyone. My name is Stefano Google, I don't know something. And I'm the artist and director of Cookie Cutter. And I spent the last 6 years working on this huge project. In the beginning, it was 4 years, just me and one guy. And later, it was 2 full years with 14 people. And it was an amazing experience. It was exhausting. It was really, really challenging. But 10 days ago, we finally shipped the game, and the reception is going good. And I'm an happy, happy boy.
Fantastic. So formally, this is the first time we're speaking on camera, but full disclosure, I have been very fortunate enough to just have some messages on the world of Twitter, because I will not call it X, everyone. We know that already. But the Cookie Cutter page is run by a very special person who I'm talking to right now, and has been extremely engaging. And I'd like to put that out there because in the world of video game development, in the world of the game industry, we've had such a roller coaster of a year with all of the struggles of pumping out games, overworking, and then, potentially letting people go. And just a lot of, we don't hear enough about the people behind it. You know what I mean? There are certain studios that will give that limelight, but there are indie artists like yourself that really, as somebody that's a musician in that same realm, we really do it for the passion. And I see that in your work. I see that in the engagement. So on Twitter, just seeing how much you retweet other people's comments, the feedback that you've taken, extraordinary, because, I know there are devs that do it out there, but for me to find a game that I really knew nothing about, it kind of just popped up on my feed, which is great job on the marketing side, because it popped up, and then I was engaged. And then funny enough, after it popped up, I got the PR email formally. So I am working on the review. That review should be published by the time this show is out. So I'll make sure to have a link at the bottom for it. We won't discuss my review on the game because that's not why we're here. So again, just in the world of social media, there's going to be a lot of in the middle opinions, right? There's a lot of, you either love a game, you hate a game, or you just want to troll it for the sake of trolling it. And so far from what I'm seeing is even the potential frustrations, which we can discuss at certain points, the positivity that outweighs that is incredible. Because a lot of times when you hear that frustration, it's usually just anger and bashing and just fear mongering, like, oh, like this game's horrible. What the hell are you doing? And I don't see that. I see a lot of people believing in what you guys have done. So that's commendable in my opinion. So let me know, like, what's that social media presence been like since the game has launched?
That is an amazing thing, because after all of that work, finally the game's is birth, it's out there, and you see the people start responding to it, resonating with it. You said that there are the extreme, there are who loves it, who hate it, and in between, some of the people who trolls it, and that is absolutely true. The things that we've done since the beginning, it was to show the diary of the game on social media. We post definitely, actually, each step, each concept art, each every day a little video about us building the game. Okay, today I got a new collision system. If you go back to the archives of the game on Facebook or on Twitter, Facebook is even older, you will see the beginning of the prototype 7 years ago, so you can actually see everything about that. So when we reach the end of the development, we already got a fan base, or at least interest of people that were waiting for the game. But I should say that I did not expect all this love. I knew since the beginning, the publisher knew since the beginning, that the game was pretty divisive. People will love it because it's groovy, got a lot of style, it's original, it got its own language, and people will hate it because you need to play with the ugly waitress, robot, silly girl. I don't want to play with that. What the fuck is this? And yada yada yada. But again, this result, reaching the end of the project, it was wow. I feel so good about it, so good.
That's awesome. And I have to say, I have already myself done the rabbit hole diving, and I have been digging, and I have been finding a lot of this content that you're speaking of. Because again, I'm like, I want to know how many people are really engaging with this game. And I was curious before we spoke to see if I can kind of get an idea of how long the game's been in development. And I was around a 4-year mark of where I found some of the earliest content. But again, that's awesome because for me as a content creator, my biggest thing was always kind of displaying the journey as you're going along with it. So, in my music world, as I was writing songs, I would put those riffs out there with little pictures and like, hey, here's what I'm working on, or here's what we're doing. And that is such a great way to gauge, interest and get a feel for it without investing so much of your heart and your financials in that point, to get to a point where you might put it out there and then what? Nothing's going to come of it. So I think that's a really extraordinary journey to be developing a game for 7 years, because we know development takes a long time. And obviously
Yeah.
somebody that's kind of doing it on their own initially, that's 100% where it's going to go. So,
Yeah.
that's something I've never really knew that side of it because, again, I'm not in the development side, but, you see games get announced and it's like, oh, we've been working on this for 3 years, 4 years, but you don't hear that much about it on the indie side. There'll be like
Yeah.
a handful, and a lot of
Yeah.
times the only time they get that limelight is if they get an award and things like that, and I feel like I want to break that mold here because we're at a point where you're at the beginning, in my opinion, of this amazing journey that I feel this game is going to do very well. And I think a big part of that is because you're committed to the growth. We talk about, the ups and downs of the year, right? Let's talk about briefly.
Mhm.
I don't even remember the name of the game. That's how lost it is to me. There was a PC game that just released. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. It came out. The developer already closed shop. It was like 2 weeks out.
Yeah. The last day something. Yeah,
What
yeah, 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 that one.
perfect
Jesus,
example,
that
right?
was weird. That was weird.
And
Yeah,
that's
a lot of
that's
A lot of
Yeah,
times they don't talk about the struggle behind the things. Right now there is kind of a trend about people says, we need to protect the people who works on video game. Let's not make them crunch anymore. Let's not buy any more product that is made with crunch. But that is weird. There is a weird line that is dividing what is crunching and what is not. For example, it's really tough for developers. For my in my special case, because I can talk just about myself and my experience, I think that for me was even a little bit tougher than the general thing, because I am a full-time Unity employee. I work at Unity full time, and I did it for the entire time of development. But at the same time, I bought an house and I had workers inside removing the ceilings, the walls, and I was in there cold working, doing 15 hours a day, 15 hours of work a day. I protect my entire team. I didn't make them crunch, not even one day. But from my point of view, I worked in the last 2 years, 15 hours a day, 7 days out of 7. And I finished this beautiful experience with a mental breakdown, a burnout, and now right now I'm on meds. I'm super happy. I'm really happy, not just because of the meds, but because now the game is out and the entire all of this works finally had a sense and a purpose, and I can finally hear the people clapping, and so I'm feeling great. And all of the pain and all of the struggle that again it's not often being told by the people, it's vanished right now, you know. But again, people think that video game you do the best job ever, and then they will see just the point of the iceberg, and they see the winning, this people won with their game, but behind that there is a lot of pain, a lot of losses, a lot of failure, a lot of crying, a lot of desperation, a lot of anxiety and panic, all of this just because you're trying to give birth to your vision, and your vision is needy. It's really tough, but amazing at the same time. It's a weird drug.
and I have to say that's one of the best ways that I've ever heard it said by somebody in a realm that's been able to, successfully say, I have a physical piece of work that I can speak for that has been out there, that, we're at a point where again it's still growing, which is amazing. And again, as a fellow musician in the world of art, I have dealt with that struggle. And the cliche that we always talk about on the show, the name of the show is Press for Time. Press for Time is we are all committed to day jobs. We all have things to do. We do this out of love and out of passion. And it might take some of us longer. And that's a big part of the journey, and I think that you're living proof that you can do that. And again, it's not easy. A lot of people think that it just
No.
putting out a video, reviewing a game, doing this, that it's nothing that you put your heart into is easy. And especially when you're passionate about
No.
it, because you don't realize how much time you put into until you think about it after the fact. So the fact that you're
Yeah.
mentioning 15 hours a day, that's yeah, I mean, I sit in my bed at 11 a.m., 11 p.m. See, I'm losing track of time. Evening, and I'm editing videos in my bed because a lot of the stuff I do for us is on here because
Yeah.
I do it when I have the time. So again,
Yeah.
like I think the great part of connecting with you is we're like-minded, we're passionate about what we are passionate about, and we do what we have to do to get through it. And that's where I want people to see, the end result of your passion is cookie cutter. So before we go in
Yeah.
deeper, what I think you need to
Ah,
let people know,
okay.
what kind of game is this? What can they expect from Cookie Cutter?
Okay, technically, Cookie Cutter is a Metroid kind of game. So you fight, you explore, and you grow. But I hate the term. I hate the term Metroidvania because it's confining you in not anymore. No, it's not even a genre anymore right now. It's
It's a
like
marketing
it's
gimmick.
a game that works like this, and yeah, and I don't like it. I have a too strong punk rock souls to be confined in that. So let's say that Cookie Cutter is a CastleDroid. It's the opposite of a Metroidvania. It's a CastleDroid. And yeah, I like to imagine Cookie Cutter as an urban tale, a diesel punk urban tale, because the language of the game is pretty much like urban kind of tale where people talk with each other in a special certain way, when the narratives it's not so, um incredibly pompous, like, we need to save the princess of the twilight, collecting the crystals of the no. There's people that talks in a really stupid way. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of sex themes or drug themes, and we try to blend all of the ingredients in a way that for us it sounds new, or at least most exotic as possible, not just for the sake of trying to be different, and that for me is really important, but because we don't want to be better or worse than anyone else out there. We just want to be ourselves and find our space and have fun doing the game. The cool things about Cookie Cutter is we had fun. It was not my idea as director that was embedded and pushed into the other team member. It was okay, I will start with the seed of the idea, but each one of us will develop it in a way that it's fun for him. It's fun for you. The designer implemented some ideas and some aesthetic. The programmer came out with some game design together with the game designer. In a way, when we are free to express ourselves in a way that give us a boner, so we're happy to do this because this is fun for us. Yeah. We try to have fun and express ourselves for the sake of it because we wanted to have fun. This is a game that we want to sell to the people, but mainly this was a product that we want to enjoy while we're creating. It's our archetype of a video game. And it was weird because putting all of those ingredients there that are pretty unusual, we didn't put it out there just for the sake of be different. And for me as an artist, trying to be different is important because when we create stuff, it's like a kid that show you a drawing and he wants you to put it on your fridge. We didn't came out with a message. We don't want to teach you nothing. Fuck the shit. We just want to do a cool game that resonates with a vision. This is Cookie Cutter, and it's not Cookie Cutter at all.
It's a great way to describe it because, again, I think everybody's going to have their own unique thought and perspective, because they're going to try to piece their own experience. Because, again, the first thing, we live in a world where there's just a lot of flattery, where we get inspired by games that have come before. And the Metroidvania formula is, again, it is used so much in marketing because it's a selling point. And I get that. But again, it has gotten oversaturated, like a lot of things in the world, where I don't get attracted to a Metroidvania because it's a Metroidvania. You know why? Because 90% of the time it's a roguelike or it's a Souls-like. And I like Souls games, but I like separate, So the idea of the mixing and mashing is great. There is a demographic for it. There are people that like it. It's not my kind of game. I was hoping that this wasn't the case. So I took, I was like, all right, let's give it a try. And I was like, all right, this is not that. So I'm already on a, good stretch. But I think the thing that I would like to tell you, I felt right away for me in my childhood, this was Astroboy meets Tank Girl.
Wow, that's great, man. And all of these things actually are kind of inspiration for me because I grew up with those things. But at the same time, again, we came out with all of the things that we love and we blended together, trying to find our own taste without trying to do a game that looks like Tank Girl. We try to blend everything. You need to imagine that this lot of the things in this game comes from music. The character of Poppa, it came from the chorus of No Good from the album of The Prodigy, Break and Enter. After smoking a little bit too many funny cigarettes, I was listening to that song and I had the vision and I portrayed Poppa. And after that, we make it a really serious character with his story and everything, and yada yada yada. So yeah, there is Astroboy, there is Tank Girl, but we didn't try to blend Tank Girl with Astroboy. We had all of those things inside. We put the end inside of our guts and came out with something that was imbued with all of those things, Because again, I don't want to copy someone. I don't want to do the next Metroidvania, Dark Soulish, copying those things that I adore. I do a lot of jokes lately on the social media about we're not a pixel art Metroidvania, medieval, yada yada, and people start getting upset because we player are really special kind of snowflakes that get triggered by everything. But actually, I love those things. I love Blasphemous. I love Dark Souls. I finished 25 7 times. But again, I'm trying to do something else in here, and I want this something else to have style and to talk by itself, saying, I don't want to do this, I do my thing. And if you like it, it's cool. If you don't like it, it's cool. I don't care. This kind of stuff. Again, sorry if I sound cocky. I just want to portray this vision. And this vision, it sounds like this.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that. And again, we're here to be honest and we're here to shine the light on you because, again, people don't know who you are. People know the game. And from all the social media posts and comments I've seen from a lot of the community, people are engaging with you. And I feel like they want to get to know you. So this is a great opportunity to do that. And I think that you really have something special, truly, out there. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the game itself. So obviously, we know the mold is kind of geared in the realms of like an adventure, action RPG ish. You have those Metroidvania elements in there because there are points in the story where you cannot progress. You have to find certain items that will help you get further along the map. Again, there's a lot of in-depth character development throughout. There's potential maybe for more to come if the fandom continues to grow. I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah, there are all of
Okay.
these things for sure. There are all of these things, and but there's even the desire for us to continue support the product. We already start working on something to give you for free, but actually these are the things that I will give you for free, and this will be the next things that we will do. For example, we are throwing out there the combo counter that comes with a little reward. We will throwing out there as soon as possible the ultra wide mode option or the window that you can play with the window thingy. We will throw out their options to remove the numbers or the bars from enemy. Just have the number, just have the bars, just have both. We want to improve it. We want to give you a good experience, and plus our vision is not finished there. There's some little things that I want to add, and I will. For example, the community wants me to put the locked door signpost on the map, and I will. Next patch, they will have it. I am out there listening to them, but at the same time, we want to continue support the product for as long as possible. First thing first, make it better, better, better. Later, giving you more. Maybe continuing the story, because maybe when you finish the game, you will realize that maybe it's not ended. Again, this is our first product, so maybe we didn't excel at the choices that we made, but we grew a lot and learned a lot from this game. And for sure, I can tell you that the writer, Raffaele Romano, that wrote Cookie Cutter, he wrote a lot more. And because we're an indie games developers, we need to cut things, put it aside. This maybe can come later, maybe if there's a later. So we are full of material to continue, makes you enjoy the game if you enjoy it. Plus, I got really great plan for the future if the game goes good. I really want to support the Portuguese and Brazilian community because they love the game and they understand shit about English. So I want to have Portuguese in game so they can enjoy it, because they are one of the community that are bigger out there and they show us a lot of love since the beginning. And so I will do all of my best to give a cool experience to them as soon as possible.
Awesome. So the one thing I want to touch on when we talk about the game itself, let's be real for a moment and let's talk about the launch. Obviously, we had the game come out, and a lot of people kind of picked it up on a whim. You have people that have been following, and then you have people that are reviewing it. So there's a lot of mixed talks about some of the mechanics, certain aspects of the game. For me, as I was reviewing the game, you and I have spoken off record that there was some challenges that I came across. But the one thing I want to say is it speaks to what you just mentioned. You know, you're an indie developer. This is your first game. None of us are gonna ever hit it 100%, especially at the level that we are. So the fact that you jumped right to social media, you engaged, and again, I'm using that word a lot because it is really how Stefano and I connected, just from simple engaging on social media and just seeing the passion and how much he really cares and that his team cares about this game. Because these little issues that I had and other gamers have had, guess what? They were resolved over the holiday.
Yeah,
Like who does that? Let's just
yeah,
be honest. You know what I mean? And I know that you have a fine line of where you can have it finished and it's waiting. If the companies, the games are not able to put it out for whatever reason, that's not on you at that point. So
yeah,
I want to make sure everybody understands that what's happening here is you're watching a game release, evolve, and grow, not
hmm,
only with the developers, but with the community and that
yeah,
engagement. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing somebody say, "Hey, I see this. Maybe this could be a great idea," and you're in there.
yeah,
You're taking that into account, whether you can do it or not. The fact
yeah.
that you're listening and you're taking that feedback again is going to be a lot of things. People are going to have wishful things. You know what I mean? I have stuff. My 7-year old, who I've also told you about, loves the game. I'm sorry, I know it's not appropriate for him, but he likes. I was into that stuff at his age, so I allow it. But
Yeah,
he loves fighting bosses.
yeah,
So he constantly grabs the controller and he fights the last boss over and over. So
yeah,
like, the idea of like a boss rush mode or different skins, like the list goes on. But the idea is that you're listening and it's really
yeah,
cool that, there's a lot of excitement. Even for somebody that finished the game, it's like, all right, I have a reason to want to go back now.
yeah,
Because even though
yeah,
I've platinumed the game, I know when you update it, I'm going to revisit it because there's going
yeah.
to be more that wasn't there before. So that's
Yeah,
really awesome.
that is the idea. That is the idea, to take the formula of a big triple A game like Fortnite. They're keeping updating. I still right now we're brainstorming. I need to talk with the publisher about things. But my idea again, right now at this point, is I would like to do this. Let's see if we can put more content. What if at some point in Bastardville it appear a new NPC giving you a quest and maybe we'll unlock some new areas? Cool. What if the story continues? So let's see what will happen. Maybe I will give you something more every 2 months and you can continue the story and you can keep the interest of the game. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas right now. I'm listening a lot to the community, not because I want to grow a community of people around my product, because I am a gamer and my dream is to do video games and my dream is to do good video games. I already did a video game in the past with a company. It was a shitty video game, and it was horrible because I worked for it so much, and I thought we will gonna smash, we will gonna bomb with this game, and it was horrible. Not horrible, but really mediocre. And right now, I'm really excited because people appreciate it. Metacritic is high, and I want to. This is not everything that I can give. I can give more, and I'm ecstatic right now to give more. When the game was out, there was a clear problem on the parry because we were teaching you that you need to parry when you see the blue flash. And actually, we, for a really stupid misconfiguration in the parry system, all of the parry particle was moved zero point 0.3 seconds before, or zero point 0.4, or zero point 0.7. So people were pressing the button and bam, and get slapped in the face. So they get upset, and I fix it the day after. It was already fixed and perfect. And right now, you see the blue flash. If you are able enough to press the button, because it's still really tight, because the parry is a mechanic we wanted to give just for the pros. If you're able enough, you will parry 100% sure. People show us that two of the main NPC quest was bugged. And I was so pissed about that because one was Althea, the girl that are able to show you the memory that you lost the day Cherry was killed, and the other one was Rob, that is able to fucking build one of the best weapon of the game, the most funny. So I was so pissed when I realized, Jesus, that is broken. 2 days after it was fixed on all of the consoles. The only problem was that we were here working and Microsoft and Sony was on holidays. So people on console had to wait 2 more days or 3 more days, but that was out of my control. Another things that I'm watching every live on Twitch. You will see that Cookie Cutter Dev is out there writing, "Thank you for playing us." And I discover, and I didn't realize in the 6 years of making the product, because you get so obsessed with the totality of the product that you just miss a clear things that is up in your face, like this is weird, but you. And I noticed that when you enter the boss fight room, these fucking people just appear. Bam, the boss fight appears and run through you. No good. I'm making a special cutscene for each one of the boss fight, and it will be available for free next patch. There are a lot of things that I'm noticing right now that I'm fixing it again, because I want this to be the level of the vision we had for the game, and it's really close. But if I can see that I can make it better, I will make it better, and I will do it because of the passion and just because of Mother Art. I'm like a priest working for Mother Art. I don't care about marketing, money and shit. I want to do a really cool game that I played and I'm having fun with this really fucked up formula we came out with. So this is it.
And bravo for that, honestly. There's the one thing I want to say. You mentioned you were talking about the parry system, which is a great mechanic to talk about because it's in the game. It was a little broken at first. It's working now. But good news, you don't have to use it. You can find a way to play. And there's a lot of complexity to the combat system, which is another
you
really
can run
great
away from enemy. You can parry them. You can kick them. You can use weapon or combat abilities. You can throw them to hazards and kill them instantaneously. We're trying to give you a chill game where you can have a lot of tools to progress without getting frustrated. So fuck the parry. It's boring. Let's use the parry in another game. But if you want it right now, it's fixed too for you people that left me a really bad review about the parry. I still love you.
Kinda. There it is.
By the way, sorry if I tell this, but if you have a problem with the game, before leaving me a fucking horrible review, come to Twitter and tell me. I will fix it for you, man. I will fix it. And so later you can just come to me. I will fix it for you.
You see that? That's engagement that you're not going to find anywhere else. Again, I said earlier, but we're going to have links to the game. We're going to have links to your Twitter, social media, so that we can, get people to get to know you again. And, there's so much we can talk about. Obviously, I don't want to keep you all day, but I definitely want to talk a little bit about the music, because I feel like this game is heavily music inspired. I felt that, and then you've obviously stated that earlier, but there's tons of Easter eggs in the game, which, again, we're not going to go into spoiler territory because a lot of people have not played it yet, but let's just talk about, is a lot of that inspiration from you? Is there other people on the team that have similar inspirations that hey, I want to throw that in there? Or, where was the idea of kind of planting those little seeds? And then we could talk about the music as well, because the actual music in the game is awesome too.
Yeah, so about the musical reference and Easter eggs in the game, me and the team decided we had a channel on our Slack, is the working tool we use to communicate. There was a channel called Easter Egg, and everybody was like, can I have a Mario ref? Can I have this reference? And I was painting and put it there. But actually, the entire team comes from music. The music guy back at time, he had a really weird, funky indie prog band. They were pretty huge in Dublin. The name of the band of Nicola is Triptych Empire. So they come from music. I come from punk rock, and I had a band. A lot of people comes from music, so we wanted to put out our influence or the band that we love. So yeah, we put out there all of the bands that we love, their influence at the game or ourselves. There's from punk rock, NoFX and Offspring. There is from new metal or metal like Gojira or Mudvayne. There is industrial like Nine Inch Nails, Slipknot. There is a lot of things hidden out there for people to find, and all of those things are cookie cutter. For the music of the game, the main attitude of the product of the game is punk rock because it's come from me, and that is my jam. And so, it was a lot of punk rock. In the beginning, we wanted to have a punk rock opera, so all of the music punk rock. The menu were like, I don't know, ska punk rock, but we weren't able to realize this vision because all of the punk rockers we know or we played with, they are really great but totally unable to deliver a professional product. Punk rockers are raw, are dirty, are noisy, they create good music, but how we can take this music and put it in the project? Too
It's got to
ambitious
be
for
analog. It's always analog, right?
too ambitious for an indie game like us. We already was ambitious in a lot of different things. Principal animation. That animation it's crazy to realize in a project like this. So for the music, we start working with Nicola Campo, our musician, and with Studio 2.256. It's a studio in Italy that makes music for movies and indie movies and shorts and now video game. And we came out with the idea, okay, let's put aside the punk rock for a while. It's already the product is already punk rock in its design, but this is a dystopic future and it's pretty dark a lot of the time. So let's move with industrial. Let's have synths, let's have electric guitar, Rammstein kind of guitar, Nine Inch Nails kind of guitar. Let's be a little bit, if the game can sound like the industrial scene of MTV from the 90s, that it will be cool. Like a music video of the MTV late night agenda. There was late night
Liquid television.
yeah, there was a format that way they were playing Sepultura, Slipknot, and all of the
All the heavy
extreme
stuff.
music. So let's do that. And I think they achieved to do a great work because they can give you an environmental, moody things when you're exploring, but suddenly you enter in the boss fight room or in the ambush room, and there's da-dum, bam, 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 bada, bada, bada. And I love that shit.
Man, when I heard those guitars, it just gave me vibes to my early, because I play drums, guitar, bass, all that stuff, and I used to write riffs like that all the time. And I was like, "Oh, this is awesome!" I said, "The tension, it just fits, and it takes you a second because obviously you're in this moment that maybe you're in the beginning. You have the nice bass lines, which I absolutely love too, and then you go right into that, and it just kicks your ass, and it's just
Yeah.
a great element of surprise that goes along with what you're experiencing. It's like, all right, now you're getting ambushed, but also you have music to go along with it. So
Yeah,
awesome.
you need to imagine. Let me lower this down so I can flex my tattoo. You need to imagine that this our audio guy, he did a school of music school, and when the project was done and we start having the funds from the publisher, we were able to hire all of his professor and all of the students was working under the professor. So we had not only these people driven by this guy Luigi Sanso that is a fucking genius, but all of the professor working for him and all of the students were creating material for Cookie Cutter. So we even helped this school to work on a real project while they were really working on a real project creating music for us. It was a huge work coordinated by Nicola and Luigi Sanso, and it was really really cool, man. They were able to create us a high number, a high volume of music, and it was amazing to have them in the game with high quality. It was really cool. I feel blessed for having them. Yeah.
Great team all around from what I can hear. I mean, overall, you mentioned about maybe, would you say maybe 20 people or as a
14
whole?
people,
14.
14 people, and the music guys was I consider them one guy. They come from Nicola, our music guy. There came all of the school with the professor and the alumni. How do you say it in English? The students.
Alumni.
Yeah,
The
the
alumni.
students.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that's awesome. So you had a big hand, if you will, in helping with that. That's awesome.
Army of young blood.
That's awesome. So I want to ask you, as far as location, like, is everybody kind of based in the same region? Do you have people kind of all around the world?
No. I was based in UK. I lived there and I worked there. So I got five guys in Italy, two guys in Malaysia, one guy from Sweden, one guy from Argentina, one Californian guy, one guy from Dublin, and one guy from Canada.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a mess because you finish your working day organizing the
Somebody else is just
work,
getting started.
and the Americans get up and you're really tired and you need to organize their day, and it was challenging. It was challenging. Again, meds,
Well, I was
nervous
gonna say that
breakdown.
that was me this morning, right? Messaging you. I'm like, I'm just waking up. Your half your day is gone already.
Nah,
You
this
know,
is
so
fine. This is just fun. I'm an attention whore. This is just fun for me.
no, this has been an honor. And again, I look forward to everything that you're bringing to the table. Um, Thank you to Rogue for obviously believing in your product. I want to make sure that they get the recognition they deserve, because at the end of the day, we can all come up with something. It's hard to get it out there. It's easier than it ever has been, especially like I said, the journey that you've been doing for 7 years of showing that journey. But to really get it out there, you need a reputable, company like Rogue. And again, I want to commend them and thank them for taking the time and believing in your product. And I hope that they continue to support it. And it's exciting to see what else your team can bring to the table, what they can bring to the table. And is there anything that you'd like to tell all of your new fans?
First, I would like to tell something about Rogue because lately there is this trend again that publisher is the evil guys. If you have a deal with publisher, and I'm pretty sure that there are some evil bastards out there that it will totally take advantage of your work, and they're horrible people, and I hope they will go out in business super soon. But at the same time, there are other kind of people. Rogues are not our publisher. Rogues are our bro. We When they had the game at the beginning, I had like 200 meetings with publisher. At some point Konami was interested in the product, and I had a meeting with the office of Konami in Europe, in all around the world. I talked with three executives of Konami, and in the end, the Japanese partner gave up on the deal. But again, I had a lot of meetings, yada yada yada, and everybody was trying to tone it down. Maybe we should remove the vagina. Maybe it's really weird that this game is made by a dude. The violence is too much. The name is silly, yada yada yada. When we found Rogue, they were in about everything, the weirdness, the sexuality, the gore. Let's push it to the maximum. Let's have a And they are like bros. We don't talk. They are not just support us and believe in us. They are in with us in this totally. They are our bros, our big bros. So one thing that I want to say out there to people: find a partner that is able to understand you and that you feel secure to have a deal with, because this is business. You start everything with the idea of doing your vision and the idea that you are an artist and you work for Mother Art. Cool. But if you need to sell this shit, you need to find a partner, and this is business. You need to talk business, you need to learn business, you need to deliver business. So if you don't want to go full indie out there, and if you want somebody that gives you access to huge marketing, because Cookie Cutter, it's a small product that these people achieve to make it big. We went out there in IGN 7 times. People out there everywhere, they are playing the game right now. If it was just me doing the marketing, I should just have my little followers niche and nothing more. I think that people, I'm sorry if I give you advice, people, just ignore me, fuck advices. But again, don't believe that all of publishers are horrible and they will try to destroy your work and your vision. It's not like this. It's totally not like this. They can give you the money to achieve your dream and the visibility to everyone to enjoy your dream. And this is important for you, I think.
Well said. I think that's a great way for us to close this awesome interview. Because again, I
Yes.
can't thank you enough for taking the time. It's special to be the first person to really get to talk to you out there in the world, and I really look forward to the sky growth that this game has. And I wish your team well. And yeah, I think again, my review, I'll have the link in the bottom so you can read my thoughts on the game. Clearly I like it, so we're not gonna sugarcoat that. But it's a great way to close 2023. I want to thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your vacation. Again, remember he's working on his vacation to make this game better for everybody. So I hope everybody has a great new year. Look forward to 2024, and I hope you all take care and have fun.
Thank you so much, Benny. Bye, everyone. Have fun.